Crimson Desert has a multitude of incredible locations steeped in mystery and lore. Some of these places even have their own bosses to vaporize and loot to drip yourself out in. One such place is Fort Windridge, now occupied by the brutal Wyvernflames and their nutty leader, Balthazar. This honestly has to be one of the most intimidating and coolest places in the entire game. So let's explore the heavily guarded stone walls and dive into some of the in-game lore on the Wyvernflames. Strap in, sit back, and enjoy the show. Fort Windridge is located in southwestern Delicia, or Delicia, however you say that. It's a huge castle isolated on its very own island, making it extremely hard to mount any kind of assault. Interestingly, the original inhabitants of the fort have been forcefully evicted, shall we say? And it's now under the control of the Wyvernflames, an elusive group of warriors from the Far East. They've made this fort into their home under the orders of their vicious leader, Balthazar, who we'll get onto in a little while. Upon finding this fort, you're greeted with this view. The fortress looms over the surrounding area, with dozens of wyverns patrolling the skies, encircling the fort as if it was their nest. It's an unbelievably epic scene. The aura of this place is off the charts. Let's head down this passageway. Oh, who's this fella?
You've made a terrible mistake.
See ya. Moving down the ramparts, you can see the Wyvernflame tents protecting the bridge to the fort. Look at this place. How the shitting crikey were you going to get in there? One way in, one way out. A single bridge is all the fort gives us as a ground entry point. Oops. Oh, ow. Ah, my arse. Oh look, the police have arrived. Cutting through the first Wyvernflames, we see grim evidence of what they did to the original fort dwellers. A pile of charred and desecrated corpses lay still burning on the hillside. Obviously the bastards burnt the poor people alive. Just a bit rude really, isn't it?
I'm sorry.
Okay, here we go. The front of the fort is filled with tents and fortifications, making it impossible to get in there without a fight. You'll have to cut down a lot of these lads before you even reach the bridge. On top of this, if the wyverns spot you, well, let's be honest, they will. They start blasting you with lightning and all kinds of rubbish. I tried shooting them down, but I imagine they have quite a lot of health, so I just tried to avoid their bullshit, really. The fight getting closer towards the bridge is bloody, and you'll need a fair bit of food to munch on to keep your health topped up. Battling up the path, defeating dozens of mercs, with the backdrop of all the wyverns flying around you, is genuinely so cool. It gives a very epic feeling to the whole scene. Reaching the last encampment, we get a nice little surprise. A surprise in the form of Balthazar himself, who spawns in to kick you around a bit before the proper boss fight at the courtyard later on. He is, no joke, decked out in heavy Wyvernflame robes, equipped with bombs and an arm-mounted cannon of some kind. He can pack a serious punch if you don't lock in. Coupled with the wyverns blasting away at you from above, it can get a little bit hectic. Getting Balthazar to about 3/4 of his health will cause him to retreat back into the fort. And again, getting across the bridge can be tricky with these blue tits shooting at you. Now the gate itself is locked down and heavily defended, meaning you need to slice through these jokers and climb over. Or I think you could probably use nature's grip on it. Wouldn't stand there, buddy. Jumping over, we now have a bit of cover from the wyverns. However, the main force of the Wyvernflames is now at full sprint, heading straight in your direction to cut your head off. Yeah, this is easy for me. 1, 2, 3, watch this. Whoa! Oh dear. There are a variety of enemy types, ranging from normal swordsmen to flamethrowers to even cannon-wielding nutcases, of which, from a closer look, seem to have been able to utilize the power of the lightning that the wyverns shoot out their mouths. Very, very interesting. It is a very long fight to make your way over to the boss. And, you know, there is more cover now, but in some areas, you're still very susceptible to the wyverns' attacks. Look at that. Ominous, that's the word. Making our way to the crafting area, Cliff decided to have a little sit down here, a little lie down. Come on, mate, we've got a job to do. Whoa, look at his eyes in there. Whoa. He's all... Watch out for the hundreds of exploding barrels. They're fun to shoot and watch everybody fly away in glorious explosions, but they can be a tad dangerous.
That's my son!
The penultimate courtyard is filled with flamethrowers and explosives. Not really a very smart combo in my head, but I'm not a health and safety officer, am I? So what am I supposed to do about it? After dealing with them lot, you can actually take a right and explore some of the inside of the fort. There's not much here yet, but we'll get back to this a bit later on. As now it's time to fight Balthazar himself, properly this time. Riding in on a wyvern and taking no prisoners.
Who goes there?
His moveset and combat style are very, very fast, agile and aggressive. Just like his beloved wyverns, he swoops in and out of combat with precision and force. Utilizing his arm cannon for close and long range, the guy is extremely deadly. And with the sheer amount of damage he deals, you really do not want to get hit by this guy too many times. He can also shoot out a load of bombs that are easy enough to dodge, but if you get hit by one, they're very strong and take quite a bit of health off you. And again, watch the barrels. Your best chance is to close the gap and keep him there. Keep him locked down with your strikes. Don't give him the opportunity to attack. Look what he does here. Blows the hell out of this national heritage site. Absolute vandal. Although it does make for a very, very cool shot, doesn't it? Especially if you turn the camera to the skies and see all the wyverns circling the courtyard. A really great location for a boss fight, this. If you can continue the onslaught long enough, then you can beat him. And with him being a red health bar boss, there are no other stages. When he falls, he falls. And when he falls, it's rather a Looney Tunes death as well. How embarrassing. Balthazar is defeated, and his body lies still underneath the sky of his precious wyverns. The fort is then reclaimed by the local council, actually to be made into expensive apartments. With the castle secured, we can head back in. Firstly, let's look a little bit closer at the courtyard we dueled him in. At the back, around what looks like a tomb, lie massive bones. There are quite a few of these around this area, and they look like huge spines. Now, I think it's pretty safe to say and assume that these are wyvern remains or dragons of some kind due to the obvious connection with the wyverns of this area. How old these bones are, I don't know. The tomb itself is remarkably unremarkable, really. Apart from what looks like 3 carved out squares on the front. They don't have any interactability, so we can assume that this is just for a decoration thing. The only other thing to talk about in this location is the collections of old rusted swords and weaponry left here. They look to be much older than anything the Wyvernflames use. To me, this possibly infers they belong to an old generation of dragon riders, maybe. It's the bones and the old tomb, and maybe Balthazar wanted to follow in the ways of old or something. I don't know. I just work here. Moving on to the main keep of the fort, you can climb around this section here, and eventually you'll find a door leading to this chamber. Now, this room is filled with crap and clearly where Balthazar sleeps and does his poos. How do I know this? His journal lies on the top of this desk. There's quite a lot of interesting information in this journal, but it is quite long. So what I'm going to do is give you a quick rundown of what he's waffling on about. He basically speaks about his admiration for the wyverns, their ferocity, their courage, precision. He loves them. He also talks about how he's belittled and ridiculed for his interest in them, and now he seeks revenge for that ridicule. And the main point of this book, in my opinion, is it actually tells you how to hatch your own wyvern, which I'm currently doing right now to get to some more out of bounds locations. So keep an eye out for those videos. There is also a strange omitted section here, which I have no idea what that could be. It's very mysterious. But the overall book sort of infers his madness and that he only cares for the wyverns, and that, in his words, humans are worthless. Very normal man, obviously. I don't think this guy has felt the touch of a woman. I then explored the rest of the fort, finding this shield that I've never seen before, even though I bet it's really common. It just stood out to me. I explored the rooms that we entered before that were on the right, but I found nothing of particular interest. And when the forces of this area take this castle back, you have to steal everything. So it kind of makes it a little bit tricky. Funnily enough, I climbed to the highest point of the keep and completely did not see this very, very obvious swivel door right here. What an idiot. Fortunately, I went back and eventually noticed the damn thing. Unfortunately, I completely then forgot how to crouch and do the force palm thing. This actually took me a good 10 minutes of trying to figure out what the hell I was doing. Like an absolute moron. Finally, force palming my way in there, we fall down into this small secret room. And in this room lies a chest. And in the chest lies a sky blazer cloth cloak. This is the same one that Balthazar wears. In fact, you can find the rest of his cool little fit located around the surrounding area. I think his hat is in the bit where you can hatch the wyverns in their little nest area just to the north of this area. This room also exits to the chamber in the main keep that we were in before. And I think that's about everything. Fort Windridge and the Wyvernflames are very, very interesting. Why did they come all the way out here from the Far East? What's the significance of the fort to them? Balthazar must have chosen this specific fort for a reason. I bet it's to do with the bones and the old swords in the courtyard. There is something more significant here for sure. Maybe it's not actually in the game yet, but I'm thinking that maybe a future DLC could potentially link the Wyvernflames from the east, because interestingly, this was not my first encounter with them. I actually first encountered them in an out-of-bounds outpost way out in the Forbidden Zone of the Crimson Desert itself. I made a video about it, so I'll throw up a card right now that links you to that video if you fancy watching that. It's rather interesting. Why are they all the way out there in the Crimson Desert on a little outpost, and why are they trying to take over this fort? I'm not sure, but that marks the end of today's video. What do you think about it? Is there something more to this fort? Is there an ancient lore or history that I didn't notice, or that you think Pearl Abyss will add in the future? As far as the boss goes, I think it was pretty fun. I think Balthazar is difficult, but he's a fun boss fight in a great, great area. The aura of this place is off the charts. With the wyverns flying around, it just looked like something straight out of Lord of the Rings. Insane. Well, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please like it and hype it. Drop a comment down below and consider subscribing. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.